What is up, guitar legends? Sam Wild here. We're looking at the Mischief Managed theme from Harry Potter today. This one's a tricky one, so I put a really slowed down play along at the end of the video as well as a full speed one. Alright, now if you guys want to learn the other themes, Hedwig's theme, Double Trouble, Harry's Wondrous World, I've also done separate videos for those. The links are down below. But today we're going to look at Mischief Managed. So the cool thing about this piece is it's in E minor, right? Just like the main theme. Right. Because it's in the same key, you can kind of put them together if you want. I don't know if you've seen my performance medley of all of these Harry Potter pieces. Again, links down below for that, just so you can see how you can blend them together and into one big piece. Now take a look at the tab. We have 2 lines to work through here. All right, so as you can see, it's not a very long song. When you get to the end, you can actually just repeat it. You can play it again. So as soon as we get to that very last part, we can just repeat it, which is quite cool. So take a look at this first bar. We have this. It's essentially the top of the E minor shape, the bar chord that you might already know. It's just the top of that. But we're going to do some chromatic movement here as well. So obviously just start with this shape here. You want 3rd finger on G9, 2nd finger, B8, 1st finger, E7 here. Alright, so make sure you can hit all 3 nice and clearly. And we're also going to play the low E string. Now it's quite far, which is what makes this so difficult. So some of you are going to want to move the whole arm sort of in and out as you're doing this. Some of you are going to just want to do it with the fingers. Okay, depending on how fast your fingers can move, those are your options. You can either move the hand away, which is harder to be accurate in my opinion, or you can just use the fingers and just do short movements like this, right? The problem is you need your thumb as well. So as soon as you've done that with the thumb, bring it down, because then it just feels like you've got more control over where the fingers are. So we're going to start with this nice and slow. We need to do this 6 times. And then we go down a fret and back up again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Down, up, right? So we go down a fret and then up a fret. Now look where my thumb is. I have it resting on the top, personally. For me, this makes it easier to kind of move along a few frets, because the thumb is like an anchor point, right? Some of you might prefer to have it lower down, but personally I like having it up, having a straighter wrist instead of having the wrist bent. So again, just work on this. Now we go up to start the next bar. Okay, now you notice I put some tiny little dots there above the last 4. That's because those are a bit shorter, so instead of da 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 da. Right, so you can start smooth, and then you make them more bouncy. Okay, if possible. It's difficult to do when you're playing it really fast, but it is there. If you have good enough technique, you can add that in if you want to, or just keep them smooth. That's fine. So the second bar, we have dun, 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 dun. So every chord's in a different place there. So the way I think about this is the starting fret. So whichever fret the first finger's on, that's kind of where I'm looking. So I'm thinking 8, 7, 6, 7. So I think about the fret number of the first finger. Makes it much easier to know where you are, right? So just try everything we got so far. Now we're going to have to slide down for that very last chord on the second bar. So this is quite difficult to go from here. It's quite a difficult jump. So you have to kind of move in position as you're sliding. Right, that's my top tip for this little movement here. The first finger actually stays on the E string. It's only these two that swap strings. So as you can see, we've got the first finger's on E3, third finger's on B5, and second finger's on G string, 4th fret. So just work on this movement. Pause the video and work on those 2 bars, and then when you're ready, you can come on to the second set of 2 bars. For those of you that want to take your playing to the next level, make sure you sign up to my premium membership website. You'll gain access to all my backing tracks, all of my lessons, and I'll teach you how to improvise, solo, and play advanced chords. Enjoy the rest of your lesson, guys. Now in bar 3 we have 5, 5, 5, all on the 5th fret here. So we gone from this shape to this shape. So notice how I try and minimize the movement we have to do because it's so fast. So all I've done is I've kept the 3rd finger where it is, 2nd finger slides over, right? Then you just have to add the pinky underneath. Okay. Now I played the low E string again. It's hard to tell if it's A in the bass or E in the bass, but personally I prefer to just keep E in the bass, but you can change that to A string if you want to. Okay, it still works. If it's just you on the guitar, it works either way. Alright, so we have dun, 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 dun. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. So 2 here, 1 down, 1 up. Okay, now from here, you have to shoot down to your A minor chord, which hopefully you already know. Okay, so bum, 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 bum. Okay, it's just an A minor chord, but we're playing the bottom 4 strings. So we have like that. Dun, 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 dun. Then, for me, this is the hardest part to do. But I figured out a way to make it easier. As soon as you've done this A minor shape, and you got to play the open strings, make sure you're ready with this next chord. Then all you have to do is drop the fingers in. So you can see in this 4th bar that we have just open strings, right? Even the bass note on the first one. Just the G, B, and E string. And then we have this shape again that we've already looked at. So as I just said, as soon as you're doing it, have the fingers ready, and then they just have to drop down, which makes it easier to then jump away from it. Okay, so when we do that, bum, bum, we have to jump straight up, and this is why this is the hardest bit in my opinion. Dun, dun. So just do this really slowly. Dun, 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 dun. So this isn't quite, the starting shape was here, remember, fret 7, but we're going to go to fret 6. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so just work on these 2 bars together because these are probably the hardest 2 in my opinion. So we have bum, 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 bum. Alright, well, don't forget this far, guys. Keep going with this. You are actually, you've learned half of it. And most of it kind of repeating now anyway. So you can see this first bar is the same. Right? But then we're going to jump up to 10th fret with the first finger. It's the same shape. Okay, but we've jumped up a bit higher. And we're going to do dun, 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 dun. So da 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 da. So look at this second bar we have. It's the same movement as we did earlier, but we're sort of 2 frets higher this time. Likewise with this shape, we already learnt it, but it's 2 frets up. Right? So we have bum, 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 bum. So just work on this little phrase. Dun, 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 dun. Making sure you get into 5th fret. Some of you might want to look at the middle finger, 6th fret. The other thing is, whilst you're playing this, make sure your eyes are looking at where you need to go next, okay? The common beginner mistake is to look at your fingers and then suddenly you're trying to find where to go. Okay, just before you move, look where you need to move to. So I'm already looking. As soon as I hit that last note there, my eyes went here, right? And again, we need to go up. So as soon as we finish this phrase, we're going to go up to the 8th fret. So we essentially do the phrase from the first line. But we have the open strings on the end of it. Okay. Again, moving into position for the next chord shape. I kind of slowed down on this last bar. So we know this shape already. We learned that quite early on. Then we finish on a B7. Alright, so have a look at this shape. You can play it like this, you can play it like this, however you want to play it. I personally like this shape in particular for this song. Alright, that is everything, guys. Well done for getting this far. Okay, the play along is coming up. You can play along to the slowed down version for a while first. This one is so fast that you really want to practice to the slow version, just so you get the muscle memory and you kind of memorize it. Then you try and play it faster. Okay, it's hard to play it fast for this piece if you haven't kind of learnt it off by heart. If you do want to learn the other themes, we've got Hedwig's theme, Double Trouble, and Harry's Wondrous World. Alright, the links are in the description or down below, so you can have lessons for those videos as well. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell icon. It really helped me out. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Good luck with the play along. I'll see you in the next lesson. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.